Hi guys, welcome to the LiveTutelage. Now in this session, we'll be discussing of something called static method and static variable. Okay, static methods or static variables. Where we will use this and what is the use for the static methods. Right, static method, the syntax is any method which has static keyword just before of the name is known as a static method, and any variable just declared with a static keyword is a static variables. Now the meaning for the static method or variable is you can access these methods as well as variables without any objects. You can directly access this with class, right? That is the meaning of a static method or a static variable. Okay, what for the static method and variables are used means I can access whatever the methods or whatever the variables that you have defined using the keyword static without any objects. Need not create any instances for the class, and you can directly access this with the class itself. That is the meaning of the static. Now here let us take some example. This is a simple class. I have declared a class as st which defines the static. This is my class, and now in this class I am going to define two methods, one with static, the other without static. Right, now here I am going to define public, so static string display. So this is a kind of string display. Okay, this is a method. Okay, this is a method. Public static string. The return type is a string, and display is a function or method. Right. Now here I am going to return some string called hi. Okay, I have returned some string hi. Now I am going to type the same method, or I am going to define a different method without static keyword. Now here in this method I am just removing my static here, and I am having another function which is display1, and which displays something called welcome. Right, now if you observe my class, this is my class and it ends here. You have two methods here. The highlighted one is with static keyword I have used, and the method is defined as it returns a string. That's why you have used here the string as a return type. The text is hi. Now if you observe the second block of the method here, I have not used the static keyword here, and I am returning some string. So string, and the function name is display1. Now let us see how we can access these two in our main method. So this is our main class. This is our Java main class. Now here if I want to access any methods or any variables of a class, what do we have to do? We have to create an instance for the class. Right? So how do we create it? So st says something like s. So this is a static, right? So stk, which is equal to new st. So I have created an reference or an object for the class static. Right? Now here, I am trying to print the display. I am trying to access this. Okay, now how you will get it? Now I am just calling the display1. So with the reference is what? stk, right? stk dot. So display, and and the display function returns a string. So I am just storing the string into some S1, right? And now I am printing it on my console S1, right? So hope you can understand these 3 lines, what the 3 lines means. So I just have called display function here through the reference through an instance SDK, and I am just storing the value whatever the display function returns. So the display function returns the value of string hi. So of type string, I have stored it in S1 variable and I am trying to display it here. Now here, if you observe this statement, here you can find the yellow colored mark. That means if you put your cursor here, it says the static method from the type should be accessed in the static way, right? That means what the definition says, the static methods you can access these members or methods without any objects. Directly you can access it through the class. So what is the class here? The class is ST. So I need not create any object or instance for my calling of the static method. So I can directly access it by just giving the class name. Class name is what? ST. So this is my class name. I can just give the class name like this. I may not give the instance for this. So now you can observe the yellow line is gone, right? Now let us repeat the same thing for the second calling of display1, right? Display1, and here see, when I try to access this with ST, with the direct class, it is saying that cannot make a static reference to the non-static method display1, right? Because the display1 is a non-static method. So you cannot access this through your class ST. So you can only access this through the reference of the class, which is your STK, right? Now you can find the dotted lines are gone. Now this you are storing with a different string in a variable and you are trying to print it. These two will print your text, and let me run this. Now you can find it here, hi and welcome, right? So this is how your static method works out. Same as your static variables also. Now here I have something called integer, static int. My int is static int. Okay, static int, I have something called a equal to 10. A equal to 10. So when I am trying to access this, so and I have another variable which is int b equal to sub 20, which is declared as without any static keyword. Now when I am trying to access these two in my main method, since this is in the class, since these two are the class variables, so for the first one I need not create any object for accessing of this because I have used static keyword. For the second one, I do have to create an object for ST because it is not defined. It is not defined as a static int. So if I want to print those two values in my system.out.println, right? So what do I have to do is, so here I want to print the A. So A is a static. So A is declared as a static. So I can directly access through my class, which is st dot A I can give. So you can find immediately when you press dot, immediately you can find the A symbol. Now my variable B is a non-static. So I have to access this through the object, which is stk dot. You can find immediately BC here. You can find immediately B here, right? Now if you run this, if you just run this program, you can find, see, 10 and 20, and before that you have your text hi, welcome, and of course your 10 and 20, those two values is been printed. So the first value 10 and the first value hi, both are printed statically. So that means, so the first function, which is display, you have not used any reference of your class, any object of your class. This one, you can observe this, as well as even for the variable print A also, you have not used any object of the class. Okay, so only thing you have to remember is whenever you are calling a static method or static variable, you can access it directly with the class. Okay, you need not create any objects or instances. That is about static methods and variables.